Some cities are just dots on a map, right? But then there are others. They feel more like living, breathing characters in a story. Today, we're getting to know a city with an absolutely unbreakable spirit, one that's seen empires rise and fall and has survived the unimaginable. This is the story of Sarajevo.
So to really get Sarajevo, you have to start with its most famous nickname. It's a name that just perfectly captures the very soul of the city. The European Jerusalem.
Okay, so what does that actually mean on the ground? Well, it means this is a place where for hundreds of years, different faiths haven't just put up with each other, they've genuinely lived side by side. You can literally walk for 5 minutes and hear the call to prayer from a mosque, see the steeple of a Catholic cathedral, the domes of an Orthodox church, and a historic synagogue. It's a living mosaic of cultures all in one place.
Which kind of leads to the big question we're tackling today, right? What is the secret of this city? How on earth did this incredible blend of East and West even happen? Well, the answer, as it often is buried deep in its history.
See, Sarajevo's one-of-a-kind character wasn't built in a day. It was forged by two massive empires that left their mark on pretty much every single street corner.
This slide really captures the city's split personality. On one side, you've got the Ottoman soul. They're the ones who founded the city, who gave it that bustling old bazaar, Başçarşıya, and all its gorgeous mosques. That's the eastern heart of the city. But then the Austro-Hungarians show up, and they give Sarajevo its western face. We're talking grand buildings, the first electric trams in Europe, and railways. It's this amazing dance, this tension between east and west on the very same streets that makes Sarajevo so special.
But the 20th century, well, it would test this city in ways that are just hard to even wrap your head around. Its place on the world stage would be defined by a single gunshot and a long, devastating war.
This timeline just shows you how central this city has been to world events. In 1914, it's the flashpoint that sparks World War I. Then for decades, it blossoms into this amazing cultural hub inside Yugoslavia. But when Yugoslavia started to break apart in the early 90s, the city found itself right in the middle of a brutal new conflict, leading to the defining chapter of its modern story, the siege.
And here's something absolutely crucial to understand. Sarajevo doesn't hide its past. As this quote points out, the scars are still there for everyone to see. These aren't ancient ruins. These are raw, painful reminders etched right into the city's walls, a powerful testament to what the people here went through.
1,425 days. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is how long the people of Sarajevo were under siege. It was the longest siege of a capital city in the history of modern warfare.
But even in those incredibly dark times, there was hope. And that hope had a name, the Tunnel of Hope. This was a tunnel, dug by hand, just under a kilometer long, that became the city's only lifeline to the outside world. It was a secret passage for food, for medicine, for people. But honestly, it was so much more than a tunnel. It was this powerful, defiant symbol of the city's unbreakable will to survive.
And from the ashes of that conflict, Sarajevo hasn't just recovered, it has been reborn. So let's jump into the vibrant, beating heart of the city as it is right now.
And that heart is without a doubt Başçarşıya, the old Ottoman bazaar. It's this incredible maze of narrow streets where you can still hear the rhythmic tapping of coppersmiths at work. You'll see centuries of history in landmarks like the iconic Sabil Fountain and the stunning Gazi Husrev-beg Mosque. And get this, the clock tower here is thought to be the only one in the entire world that keeps lunar time. That means its hands reset every single sunset to mark the times for Islamic prayer. How cool is that?
The city's transformation is maybe best seen right here. This main boulevard was once known around the world as Sniper's Alley, a place where just crossing the street was a life-or-death gamble. And today, it's a busy, bustling avenue full of trams, shops, and people just living their lives. It's an incredible symbol of resilience.
And then you have the Vijećnica, the National Library. This absolutely magnificent building was intentionally shelled and burned down during the war, destroying millions of irreplaceable books and manuscripts. But look at it now. It's been painstakingly restored to its former glory. It's more than just a building. It's a defiant statement that you simply cannot erase a culture or a people's spirit.
Of course, we can't talk about Sarajevo's heart without talking about its food. I mean, come on, it's this delicious mix of Ottoman and Balkan flavors. You've got the world-famous cevapi, the flaky, savory pastry called burak, super sweet baklava, and,
Well, then there's Bosnian coffee, which is a whole experience in itself.
And let me tell you, this is not your typical grab-and-go caffeine fix. Bosnian coffee is a ritual. It's a whole process. It's made in a special copper pot, served in these tiny little cups, and it is absolutely meant to be sipped slowly, over a long conversation with friends. It's a cornerstone of social life there.
So after this whole journey, what's the big takeaway? What we see is a city that's somehow both a living historical artifact and a totally modern, vibrant place to be.
I think this quote from our source material just nails it. Sarajevo's spirit, its strength, it's everywhere you look. In its beautiful, blended architecture, and yeah, in the scars it still carries. The two things are completely inseparable. They are two parts of the same powerful story. At the end of the day, a trip to Sarajevo is it's more than a vacation. It's a really profound experience. You don't just see history here. You feel it. You walk right through it. It's a city that practically begs you to slow down and listen to the stories its walls have to tell.
And that leaves us with one final thought to ponder. If those walls really could talk, what story would they be telling us today? A story of pain? A story of survival? Or maybe, just maybe, a story of incredible, unbreakable hope for the future?